Welcome in to the latest episode of the Betting Pitch Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, the real underscore G Warner, on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, and on YouTube. If you're listening today, I appreciate it. If you're listening live, even better. But if you're listening to a recorded version, leave a five-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and certainly look out for a best bet, ultimate best bet coming up end of show, and that will be on both YouTube at the real underscore G Warner and also on Instagram at the real underscore G Warner. We're gonna go through the top five European soccer leagues. Every match that's left to go that hasn't been played yet today. We did some Friday matches, but tried to get the podcast out earlier today, and I could not get it done. So doing that tonight before I go out for a housewarming party. So wish me luck. It's going to be a great time, hopefully, and let's find some winners on this episode. So, if you haven't been here before, I'll tell you how we do it, and we will be doing this for every league coming up. We've got a lot of soccer to come. Champions League, all that sort of stuff is coming. But I go through every league in the English Premier League, the La Liga, Spain, Italy, Germany, and France. And then I put together my favorite pick from each of them, smash them together in a 1 minute video, which you can find on every social media platform that exists. So we'll start in England on Saturday morning, the September 13th edition. We'll start with Arsenal, 1.5 goal favorites to Nottingham Forest. Totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to over. So Arsenal, to me, are I think very likely to win the English Premier League this season. At least that's what I thought coming into it. They forever struggle to keep people healthy, but that's a lot, I think, because of their manager. Hopefully that improves the season if you're a gunner. Nottingham Forest on their side had an incredible season last year, from looking like a relegation candidate entering into the season to then somehow fighting for Champions League. It didn't all work out. And then Nuno Espirito Santo had some sort of fallout with the owner or the rest of the staff or something that happened, and now he's gone. So, how are Nottingham Forest going to play? I don't think very differently. I think they're going to play exactly the same way, very conservatively, especially on the road in London against one of the best clubs in the world, probably worth more in squad value than almost anybody. For that reason, Nottingham Forest, I'm less interested in the 1.5 goals. I'm more interested under 2 3/4. Though I'll be waiting for 3 to play it early in Saturday morning start here in the United States. Moving next to Everton hosting Aston Villa. Everton 1/4 goal favorites at home. All the juice on Villa away. Totals 2.5. Juice pretty heavily to under right now, and it should be. 2.5 feels like a big total, but we've been seeing large Premier League totals for a long time. And we've seen a lot of refereeing decisions that have been very puzzling to me, which makes me think that there's huge changes and unders are going to be very valuable, at least until the markets adjust. So for that reason, I don't know that I really want to back Aston Villa going into a tough place to play, though Everton are a new venue. That's probably my interest because I'm not really a believer in Everton's offense, but biggest interest for me is under 2.5 in that matchup. Move next to Crystal Palace hosting Sunderland. Currently, Crystal Palace 3/4 goal favorites at home with almost all the juice. Totals 2.25, and it's juiced very heavily to over. Sunderland, newly promoted side, they're going to do their best to try to hang in this league by not conceding goals. Crystal Palace sold Eberechi Eze, and we'll see what that offense looks like. I do trust Oliver Glasner as a manager, and I think he will figure out how to win with a weakened side, especially balancing Europe, but that hasn't started yet. We'll start this week. I think Sunderland's my interest. I'd love to get them with a full goal of insurance, but I'll take the 3/4 right now, but bigger interest in under 2.25. Next, go to Bournemouth, 1/4 goal favorites at home to Brighton. All the juice on Brighton right now. Totals 2 3/4, all the juice to over. Bournemouth are a goal scoring team. I want to see Brighton continue to get bet. I'll be waiting to see Bournemouth as a pick 'em. And unfortunately, I don't really want much to do with an under there, so I'll skip that one and wait for Bournemouth to move to a pick'em, as I just said. Newcastle then hosts Wolves. Currently, Newcastle 1.25 goal favorites with all the juice. Totals 2 3/4, juice more to the under. Wolves are not a strong team. They haven't been for a long time. We'll see if their savior of a manager who came in from Saudi Arabia, a sixth-place club that really wasn't that impressive, that somehow won a bunch of matches and kept the team in the league because all the promoted sides went back down. Let's see what Wolves do this season. Going to Newcastle is really scary. I don't want much to do with unders there either because Newcastle can find goals, and maybe they're finally past the Alexander Isak saga. Fulham then hosts Leeds in that same big window, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central tomorrow morning. Can't wait to wake up for that. Fulham, half goal favorite right now. More juice on Leeds, totals 2.5, and it is juiced very heavily to under. Now, Fulham to me are a much better club than Leeds. They've been in the Premier League a long time. They can win this match. I feel like Leeds are getting a lot of respect, and I'm not really sure I agree with it. I'm not really sure I want much to do besides maybe an under here, but that's a pretty weak lean, I think, at this point for Leeds under 2.5. Next, go to West Ham United in the what normally is a late window, but I guess we have an even later one, a real night game in West London coming up. But we'll start in East London. West Ham United, half a goal underdog right now at home with all the juice to Tottenham Hotspur. Totals 2 3/4. Juice pretty heavily to under. I don't trust West Ham to score at all. Tottenham, they are an incredibly bad defense from last season based on the strategy they employed. But got a much better manager, or at least one that made a lot more sense, I think. And we'll see what Tottenham are this season. The only way I could really lean is to West Ham United as a home underdog, but it's not a strong lean at that. I'd lean to under 2 3/4, I guess, as well. But Thomas Frank's history of being an over type of manager is not great for, especially when the favorite is going on the road. To the nightcap on Saturday, Brentford half a goal underdog at home to Chelsea. Looks like most of the juice right now in Chelsea away. Totals 2 3/4, just a little bit slightly more to under. Chelsea's not a team that I see unders being very profitable with. Brentford were not that way, but we'll see what they look like, especially this season, where I think they're going to have a lot of trouble staying up. But that also a lot depends on the newly promoted clubs. With that said, Brentford have been great at home ever since they entered the Premier League. I'll lean to the half of a goal underdog at home in the nightcap. Moving to Sunday, Burnley hosting Liverpool. Currently, Burnley 1.5 goal underdogs. All the juice on Liverpool away. Total is 3, juice all the way to over. Only way I could really lean is to Burnley getting a goal and a half. I guess I'll lean to under 3 there as well. But that's really because I don't believe in Liverpool. Thought they won last season, and it was a lot of fortune rather than domination. And last but not least, the Manchester Derby. Manchester City 3/4 goal favorites to Manchester United. Almost all the juice on Manchester United right now. Total is 3, just a little bit. Just more to over. I'm not backing Manchester United until something changes drastically at that club. So that's a no for me, dog. And I'm happy to look anywhere else, really, or just anywhere else, really. For my best bet in the English Premier League, I will go with one of those early unders. I'll go with Aston Villa and Everton under 2.5 goals. And now we will move to Spain. We'll be there in just 1 second. And here we are. We start on Saturday with Getafe as I wear their kit. They're half a goal favorites right now at home to Real Oviedo. Total is 2, juiced very heavily to under, and it's been moving toward under, and I think we're going to lose 2. So I think if you want to play under this matchup, which I do, you play under 2 right now. I don't really trust Real Oviedo, I will say, but I don't trust either of the teams to score in this matchup much at all. 0-0 feels like a very likely possibility there. Real Sociedad then hosts Real Madrid. Currently, Sociedad a 1 goal underdog at home with more juice. Totals 2 3/4. Juice pretty heavily to under. This has moved from 3/4 up to 1, and it should because Real Sociedad are nothing like the squad they were in the past. I think Real Madrid are a team I want to be against, so I'll lean to Real Sociedad getting that full goal of insurance, but unders are not something I want in Real Madrid. We'll see what Xavi Alonso does. Athletic Club Bilbao then hosts Alaves. Currently, Athletic Club 3/4 goal favorites with all the juice at home. Total is 2, juice all the way to over. I'm not as concerned with Athletic Club's defense as I am with their offense. It hasn't really fired so far this season. They've been getting results, but they've been fortunate. I think Alaves goes in to defend. I don't really like them that much this season. Don't really love their manager. I think under 2 is my only interest, and I'd love to get 2.25. And it looks like the juice is heading that direction. Moving to the nightcap on Saturday of Atletico Madrid, a 3/4 goal favorite at home to Villarreal with all the juice. Totals 2 3/4, just slightly more to under. Villarreal are, I think, a better team at Atleti at this point. I shouldn't be saying that, but that's how it feels to me, especially in the eyes of the marketplace. Making them a 3/4 goal underdog where I have to lose by 2 goals, lose my full bet. Villarreal, 3/4 a goal. I will take that all day. Sunday, we'll move to Celta de Vigo hosting Girona. Currently, Celta, 3/4 goal favorite with almost all the juice. Totals 2 3/4, and it's juice slightly more to under. I'm not touching Girona for a long time. I want to be against them as a favorite, but they're not there in that role on Sunday. Levante then hosts Real Betis. Currently, Levante quarter goal underdogs at home with slightly more juice. Totals 2.25, juice pretty heavily to over. I was very unimpressed with Levante on their trip to Elche. I don't really like their setup against Real Betis side that are much stronger and deeper and all those sort of things. But Real Betis on the road, yes, they'll have a huge crowd support in Valencia in the Comunidad. But I think at this point, I'll still lean to the home underdog and the under, though they're probably not going to make the card. I need to see more from Levante. Osasuna then hosts Rayo Vallecano. Currently, Osasuna a pick'em with all the juice at home. Totals 2.25. Juice very heavily to under right now. Every Rio match, I want to back them, and I want to back as an underdog, and I want to back their unders. We have Pick'em right now on the road, which is too short for me, so I'll just put under 2.25 on my list. To the Sunday nightcap, Barcelona hosting Valencia. Currently, Barca a 2-goal favorite at home, slightly more juice on Valencia away. Totals 3.5, juice all the way to over. Barca are not as strong. They hadn't had a great start to the year. Feels very fortunate with a bunch of wins. Valencia is a 2-goal underdog I'm interested in, and I don't want much to do with an under total, which makes my interest in the underdog a lot less. And to Monday, we have Espanyol quarter goal favorites at home to Mallorca. All the juice on Espanyol, likely moving to half a goal favorites. Totals 2.25, juice pretty heavily to under, and that's the way I lean. I feel like Espanyol have been a really great underdog for a while. I do want to see what they look like in the favorite role, and I'm not sure I believe in it just yet. For my best bet in Spain, you probably hear it when I was talking about it. I will go with Villarreal, 3/4 goal underdogs on the road at Atletico Madrid. Now we'll move to Italian Serie A. We'll start with Saturday, no matches on Friday. Cagliari quarter goal favorites at home to Parma. Juices split both ways. Totals 2.25, juice almost all the way to under. Cagliari have not shown much offensively. I will lean to Parma getting a quarter of a goal, but more to the under 2.25. Juventus, a pick'em at home to Inter Milan. Total is 2.25. Juice pretty heavily to under, a little bit more juice on Inter. I think Inter are a better club. We've got a lot that needs to be proven from Juventus until we trust them, though they are at home. So I will not be playing Inter unless they get an underdog, and I will look towards Juventus if they are underdogs. Total is really small in this one. A lot of goal scoring talent on both sides, but they generally do play pretty low scoring games, and the big clubs come together. I'll lean to Juve under 2.25, but it's not a strong lean. To the nightcap on Saturday, Fiorentina quarter goal underdogs at home to Napoli. Juices split both ways, which is a little bit respectful for the home team. Total is 2, juice all the way to over. I don't think Napoli's a favorite to win this Serie A. I bet it Inter to start the season, and I expect Napoli to struggle. They really struggled and got a late winner at the end of stoppage time to beat Cagliari earlier in the season, but Fiorentina is my interest, getting a quarter of a goal, and I like under 2. Would love to get 2.25. It looks like it's headed there. Sunday, we go to the early matchup. Roma hosting Torino. Currently, Roma 1-goal favorites with more juice. Totals 2.25. Juice all the way to over. Looks like that's climbing. Torino looked bad in their opener with Inter. Roma, I love Gasperini coming in there, so I don't think I want much to do with the underdog. Atalanta then hosts Lecce. Atalanta 1.25-goal favorite with a little bit more juice. Totals 2.75. Juice all the way to under. I think Lecce are going to struggle to stay in the division this season. I think they're really going to miss their big farmer, Bashirotto, who's moved to Cremonese. But I think I'd like to be against Atalanta. I don't know if it's against them with the spread. I think biggest interest for me right now is Lecce playing a really low scoring game, under 2.75, though I don't know if that'll make the card. Pisa then hosts Udinese as a newly promoted as a slight underdog at home. Total is 2.25. She's very heavily to under. I don't really see a lot of goals in this matchup. I think Udinese is certainly the side I would want as an underdog, though it doesn't look like they'll be that. We'll see what happens and where the money goes, and that's always something to trust in the Italian Serie A. I'll go under 2.25 is my biggest interest in that matchup. Sassuolo then hosts Lazio. Sassuolo half a goal underdogs with all the juice. Total is 2.5. Juice is split both ways. Lazio, not a lot of respect coming into the season. Sassuolo newly promoted. We'll see what they deliver. They've looked very, very young, and I think very, very naive. That's not great, but I'll lean to the home underdog, getting a half of a goal. To the nightcap on Sunday, Milan hosting Bologna. Currently, Milan half a goal favorite with more juice. Totals 2.5. Juice pretty heavily to under. Bologna, I think, are going to compete. Milan have looked horrible. We're very fortunate to get a win in one of their first 2 matches. Lost to Cremonese at home. What a joke that was. But I think there's a lot of problems. Massimiliano Allegri is not the solution, has not been ever before. Pioli should have brought him back, but whatever. Bologna getting half of a goal, my interest there in that one. To Monday, Verona hosting Cremonese. Verona quarter goal favorites at home with all the juice on Cremonese away. Totals 2.25, juice all the way to under. I'll lean to underdog, getting the quarter, and the under 2.25 goals. Don't expect to get to 2.5. Would get closer to 2, I would suspect. But not a lot of respect for Verona offense. So they've got a new attacker who looks really, really good. But still Verona. And last but not least, Como hosting Genoa. Currently Como, a 3/4 goal favorite with all the juice. Totals 2.25, just pretty heavily to over. Genoa's defense has been awesome ever since Patrick Vieira took over. Their offense is really questionable. I think I want a full goal of insurance, even though Como, it's amazing to see them this level of favorite. I'll lean to Genoa getting 3/4 of goal, but I want the full 1, and I'll lean to under 2.25 in that matchup. I just don't know if that's going to actually show up. So for my best bet in the Italian Serie A, let's go with Cagliari and Parma under 2.25 goals on Saturday morning. We'll now move to French Ligue 1 as we got 2 leagues left to go. If you are not subscribe to my Patreon. Do it, patreon.com/real_G Warner. It's where you get all my plays across all sports, including the NFL big win on Thursday. That was a little bit nerve-wracking late, though it shouldn't have been. Baseball's been really hot ever since a really poor April, March, whatever, first month of the season. And we'll be riding through the rest of the season, getting you ready for college basketball coming up as well. We'll start in France on Saturday with Nice hosting Nantes. Currently, Nice three-quarter goal favorites, a little bit more juice. Totals 2.5, and it's juiced more to the over. Nantes are still a team I haven't figured out just yet under the new management, and Nice I didn't figure out last year, so I'll probably skip that one. Angers are one-goal underdog at home to Monaco. Total is 3, juiced more to all the way to the over, and more on the home underdog. I'll lean to Angers right now. I don't know that they're going to want to play with Monaco. They're more of an offensive team than other strugglers that are trying to stay up. Monaco is a one-goal favorite away, though, is pretty expensive. To Sunday, Lille hosting Toulouse. Currently, Lille three-quarter goal favorites. All the juice on Toulouse away. Totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to under. I think Toulouse will compete here. I don't think Lille with Olivier Giroud and is 37 years old or something like that. I don't like that setup. I probably lean under 2 3/4 there as well, but I think more to the Toulouse side, actually. Metz then hosts Angers in a battle of strugglers for sure. Metz quarter goal favorites at home. All the juice on Angers. Totals 2 1/4, juice all the way to over. Not really a believer in the Mets offense. They were very fortunate to come up through the barrages or the relegation playoff. Angers, I think, have not gotten a lot of respect this season. We're underdogs at home to Paris FC in the opener, newly promoted. I like their chances as an underdog, even though it's away. I'll also lean to under 2 1/4. PSG then hosts Lens. PSG 1.5 goal favorites to Lens. More juice on the Parisians. Total is 3.5. Juice a little bit more to under. Lens are a great defense, and they are a really good, solid squad, but I like them at home. They're away here, and I don't know that I can do more than lean to the 1.5 and the under 3.5, but I just don't know that how much I'm going to be fading PSG much. Stade Brestois then hosts FC Paris, not the Paris Saint-Germain, the regular one. Brest, a quarter goal favor right now. Almost all the juice on Paris away as they continue to get respect. Totals 2 3/4, juice more to the under. Brest are the side I'd want here if they move to a pick'em. We don't have that yet. I don't really trust Paris. I don't think they're signings, though they're some big names. I don't think they're that valuable. Strasbourg then hosts Le Havre. Currently, Strasbourg three-quarter goal favorites with all the juice. Totals 2 3/4, juice almost all the way to under. Le Havre, to me, I just don't know that they're going to score much this year, and so they're going to try to do their best to hang on for dear life. That's a scary setup. I think the only thing I could lean to is under 2 3/4. I don't love it much. And to the nightcap, Rennes are a pick'em to Lyon. Currently, more juice on Lyon right now, despite a lot of player sales and a lot of financial troubles that almost got them automatically relegated. Totals 2 3/4 in this one, juice pretty heavily to under. I'll go Rennes as a pick'em. I think that is by far the most interesting in France this weekend, and I will pick that as my best bet. I'll go with Rennes a pick'em, and we'll go last to the German Bundesliga, which has a huge Saturday coming up. So let's get there and let's get this, and we'll get this podcast as quickly as possible out to the masses. We'll start with Sport Club Freiburg, quarter goal underdogs at home to VfB Stuttgart. Total is 3, juice more to the under. A lot of juice on Freiburg as a quarter goal underdog. I think I understand Stuttgart being a favorite here. I don't love that they lost Nick Volta-Messi, or Voltamata is his true name on government documents, as far as I know. I'll lean to Freiburg, quarter goal underdogs, and I'll lean to under 3 because they play low-scoring games. But I think I'm more interested in the quarter of a goal on Freiburg. Move next to Mainz 05. They're pick 'em at home to Leipzig. More juice on Leipzig. Total is 3, juiced more to the under. I'll lean to Mainz 05. They are going to try to figure out what to do this season and try to recreate what they did last year. Leipzig have a ton of money and have a ton of things that come in, and Jurgen Klopp running them apparently, but I don't think he's doing a great job. Shh. We'll move next to Wolfsburg, hosting FC Köln. Currently, Wolfsburg half a goal favorites right now. All the juice on Köln away. Totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to under. I mean, Köln recently promoted to the Bundesliga from the Schweizer Liga after 1 year gone down, all those sort of things. They're a yo-yo club, but they have a huge fan base. Wolfsburg really doesn't have a great crowd, I don't think. And Ralf Hasenhüttl, their manager last year, before he got sacked, was complaining about it. I think that Köln can bother them in this matchup, and I think they want to play a low-scoring game. So I'll lean to FC getting a half of a goal and more, I guess, about the same to under 2 3/4. Next, go to Union Berlin. Pick them at home to Hoffenheim. Totals 2.5 in this one, juice pretty heavily to over. Union Berlin are always a look at home. I'll lean to under 2.5 as well because I don't really believe in Hoffenheim away from home. Don't like their manager. Don't like a lot setting up there. I think that's a really good value on Union. Heidenheim then hosts Borussia Dortmund. Currently, Heidenheim a 1 goal underdog at home with more juice on Dortmund. Totals 3.25. Juice very heavily to under. Heidenheim is a 1 goal underdog. That's a big price, but Dortmund, they are much better, but they can't seem to hold leads. I mean, blowing 3-1 with unfortunately taking a red card, giving up a penalty, and conceding goals late to St. Paul in the opener. Same old Dortmund, especially away from home. I'll lean to Heidenheim getting that 1 goal. To the nightcap, the top spiel on Saturday. Bayern München 3 goal favorites to Hamburg. Total is 4, juice all the way to over. I'm going to skip this one. Move to Sunday. St. Pauli hosting Augsburg. St. Pauli, a quarter goal favorite at home with more juice. Anytime they're a favorite, I'll look the other way, and I'll lean to under because I don't trust goals in any St. Pauli matchup, especially when they're at home. And last but not least, Borussia Mönchengladbach hosting Werder Bremen. Gladbach, a half a goal favorite at home right now. Almost all the juice on Voda. Totals 3.25. Juice very heavily to under as well. I don't really know that I trust Gladbach at this point. They need to prove it. They've been a much better home team for years. For now, I'll lean to Werder Bremen getting a half of a goal and to under 3.25. For my best bet from the German Bundesliga, I will go Union Berlin, a pick'em. And that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. But it's still time for a best bet. And let's make sure I didn't miss any comments. If I did, thank you for coming in. Any of you that were live with us, I really appreciate that. And so let's get into the ultimate best bet portion of the show. So I will be recording a reel separately, so it's not as big anymore, but I'll just recap for everyone. Premier League in England, I like Aston Villa under 2.5 goals. In La Liga in Spain, I like Villarreal getting 3/4 of a goal at Atletico Madrid. In Serie A, I like Parma under 2.25 goals. In Ligue 1 in France, I like Rennes, a pick'em. In the German Bundesliga, I like Union Berlin, a pick'em. For my best bet in this episode from the German Bundesliga, I will take Union Berlin, a pick'em at home to TSG Hoffenheim. And we'll see you soon. See you for Champions League next week, Europa League as well. Any other requests at the Real_G Warner across all social media platforms. And hit me up, patreon.com/Real_G Warner. Best way to get all my plays, not just one a day, across all sports. Go check it out. Talk to you soon.